All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at Joe Rogan reacting to Tucker Carlson's January 6th exclusive. He had a guest on by the name of Malice. Joe Rogan, we all know, is not a conservative by any means. He definitely in the middle, more of a traditional libertarian. And Malice is an anarchist. His own words, not mine. But I think it's important to see reactions from guys like this because Joe Rogan has a huge platform. Malice has a pretty big platform himself, and they represent those people in America who are in the middle, not really on the left, not really on the right, just more so want to know what's really going on. All right, so we're about to take a look at this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe while we're watching. Now let's roll it.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Speaking of which, did you see the new video of the fucking QAnon shaman being led through the Capitol building by police?
No. What happened there?
You know, there's the story of the violent insurrection.
Oh, yeah, of
that's
course.
the narrative,
It
right?
was, I mean,
By the way, well, let's just be real clear. You shouldn't break into the fucking Capitol building. You shouldn't be trying to overthrow the government. You shouldn't be trying to get out there and say that the election was false when you don't exactly know. You're just buying into it, and then you all invade the Capitol. Wasn't good. Wasn't a good look for America. Wasn't good for any of the people there. Nothing was good about January 6th. Let's be real clear. But when you watch the video of that guy being led around through the Capitol building by police, they're basically giving him like a tour. They're talking to him and hanging out with him. At one point in time, it's him, and there's like 6 police officers around him, and they're not arresting him. They're not throwing him to the ground. There's no violence at all. They were leading him around. Like the cops were talking to him and hanging out with him. They weren't like arresting him immediately. It wasn't like he was this violent guy who broke in and started smashing things and fucked the government.
They stayed between the velvet ropes.
Watch the video.
Yeah.
See, have you seen the video?
No, I have not seen the video.
See if you can find it, because Tucker Carlson highlighted it on his television show, and now everybody's up in arms because it's coming from Tucker. But it should be coming from the New York Times too. It should be coming from everybody. It's just this is video footage of this guy. And it's a thing that's different than what we're being told it is. We're being told that they barged in and fucking rah, and they overtook the Capitol, locked them up, put them in jail. Right, you're not supposed to go into the Capitol building. Granted.
I thought you at certain times you are.
Not like that.
Yeah, not like that. Sure.
Not like that. But when you see the people taking him around, essentially on a tour, that's not what I thought it was.
I just hope all the conservatives watching this realize how little appetite there is in the Republican Party for defending people like this. And thinking that Mitch McConnell or Donald Trump care about this is a delusion.
It's not even defending them. It's just forget about it. Let's look at what actually happened. We didn't know that happened.
Yeah, I'm shocked to see that.
That's so wild.
And like to your point that it's not a bigger story. That it's fucking Tucker who's covering this.
It's just broken. And I think people are starting to pay attention to it now.
I don't think it's broken. I think it's by design. I think it's It's by design. It's not an accident.
No, I mean it just broke. I mean, like,
oh yeah. Okay, story just broke
got out in the
yeah.
world. I think it's really recent, and so I think people are just starting to recognize that it's not what you thought it was. You want to peacefully protest, you do it outside. You don't ever go into the fucking Capitol building. If someone smashes his door, don't enter behind it.
I don't see how not having him under house arrest wouldn't be infinitely preferable to putting him in jail, which is cheaper. Stay in your house.
They're putting him in jail for 4 years.
Yeah, like what? Who's that? He's not violent.
For going on a tour.
There's no concern that he's going to kill someone or assault.
Yeah. He pled guilty. Of course he did.
Of course he pled down.
If he doesn't plead guilty, they give him 25 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was guilty. He was there.
Yeah,
he was trespassing.
100% guilty. He definitely should be. There should be some kind of punishment for doing that to make sure that people don't do that.
Well, wouldn't it be better if he did actually community service and help the community?
Yes, clean up. Go fucking clean up.
Go clean up.
somewhere.
Yeah, go clean up the mall.
Yeah.
Like do that for like 4 years. Every weekend you have to go to the mall, clean up broken glass. Fine.
The problem is like with those kind of protest things, man. The mob has a mind of its own. And if you're in that mob and you just follow along with it, and all of a sudden they have your fucking face.
But that didn't even seem like the mob, because it wasn't like they were knocking shit, pulling off of walls.
But that's also selective, right?
Sure, of course.
This is the thing. They're showing us only the good stuff. If we wanted to watch all of it, I think there's some insane amount of hours of footage, and this has only been recently released. So who knows what else we can see.
I think it's just very sad that we had these big hearings for a long time, and they must have had this footage, and they sat on it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It seemed very clear also that there was no possibility that he was going to be violent toward them. Like they were not clearly in fear of their lives or that he was going to swing on them or anything like that.
No, not at all. I mean, they were talking to him.
Yeah.
He thanked them. He gave a prayer and thanked them.
It's a very unfortunate thing. 4 years is no joke. 4 years.
It's a long fucking time. It's a long time to be locked up.
Carlson says they checked with the Capitol Police before airing the video.
He said, "We're happy to say their reservations were minor, and for the most part, they were reasonable." Capitol Police spokesman Tim Barber said that we repeatedly request that any clips be shown to us first for a security review. So far, we have only been given the ability to preview a single clip out of the multiple clips that aired. So they didn't show them all of it. So they wanted...
his attorney didn't have that footage. Wow. Holy crap.
Chansley's attorney, through sentencing in November 2021, said he had been provided many hours of video by prosecutors, but not the footage which Carlson aired on Monday night. He said that he had not seen video of Chansley walking through Capitol hallways with multiple Capitol Police officers. What's deeply troubling, Watkins said Tuesday, is the fact that I have to watch Tucker Carlson to find video footage which the government has, but chose not to disclose despite the absolute duty to do so, despite being requested in writing to do so multiple times.
You can't. I'm not an attorney, but I know enough that if you're a prosecutor, you're holding evidence that could clear the defendant. That's not legal. Because discovery means you have to turn over all the evidence, not just things that will incriminate him.
It's ugly.
Wow. Can you imagine if this gets overturned? Or he gets... Wow.
Yeah. It says Carlson's program conveniently cherry-picked from the calmer moments of our over 41,000 hours of video, Manager wrote.
Yep.
The commentary fails to provide context about the chaos and violence that happened before or during these less tense moments. Well, that's fair.
Sure.
Carlson previously produced a 3-part series in 2021 called Patriot Purge on the streaming service Fox Nation, which suggested the riot was orchestrated by Antifa groups, the FBI, and other government agencies, and was a false flag operation to discredit Trump supporters. But here's the thing. The FBI was asked if they used agent provocateurs on January 6th, and they refused to answer. I'm sure you've seen that footage.
Yes.
Yeah. And they know about that guy, Ray Epps, that was on the Capitol grounds saying, we got to go in there. And people are calling him a Fed, and nothing's happened to that guy. Nothing's happened to that guy. But the guy was clearly inciting these people to do something illegal, and they know who he is.
And they have it on tape.
All right, guys, that's it for Joe Rogan and Michael Malice's reaction. Now, I did skip through some parts of this video because it's almost 15 minutes long, and I didn't want this video to be, a 30-minute long video. But I will leave this in the description below so you can go and watch Joe Rogan and Michael Malice talk about this in full for yourself. But I think the biggest issue here is the information omitted, the things that were left out that the public and even Jacob Chansley's defense team wasn't able to obtain, which could have helped him in his legal case. And of course, he had to plead guilty, because had he not pled guilty, that 4 years that he got would have been ramped up to even more, maybe 8, maybe 10, who knows. But it's a shame, the same people talking about democracy and how democracy is under attack, they have nothing to say when this man's legal team, his defense team, is denied the footage that could have helped him in this case. And it's very fishy how the FBI didn't want to answer about using agent provocateurs. You got this guy Ray Epps in the crowd inciting people to go and get inside the Capitol building. The FBI knows who he is, because if we know who he is, the FBI gotta know who he is. So it's a lot of stuff surrounding this whole day that it's just not adding up. Now, on the very first day when all of this happened, even before I seen all of the video footage and things that I seen, I thought that this was a setup. I thought it was a trap. You can't break into the Capitol with them huge doors. I think people were let into the Capitol and led into a trap ultimately. And, a lot of people paid the price for just going and wandering in the Capitol and being in the wrong place at the wrong time, really. And in a crowd of people that big, insurgents, provocateurs, and people inciting violence will definitely be present. Whenever there's a riot that doesn't suit the narrative of the liberal media, the Democratic Party, CNN, MSNBC, they always find a way to make sure that it was mostly peaceful, but it was just a few bad apples. So why can't we use that same logic in a situation like this? I think it was definitely some bad apples in that crowd. And were they planted? Were they just there organically? I don't know, but I got my own hunch, and you entitled to have yours. Jacob Chansley, his defense team, should have received the videos in order to help in his defense. If we gonna uphold democracy, if we gonna be all about democracy, it gotta be everyone's democracy. Whether you like the Republicans or whether you like the Democrats, democracy and the rule of law is supposed to be followed out the right way for people on the left and on the right. The way the media controlled the overwhelming narrative on this, making the Democratic Party and Democrat supporters seem like the virtuous voices of democracy and painting the right wing and Republicans and conservative and right wing supporters, making them look like extremists and conspiracy theorists and racists and all these other things, that messes with people's life too. That's putting politics over people's life as well, because you got people who believe this stuff and, you know, they go on and make books about it. They go on and judge people off of this information. They live their life thinking that, you know, an entire side of the political aisle, everyone on the right is someone who you can't have a conversation with, someone who you can't listen to, someone who's crazy, someone who's a lunatic. And this is the problem that we have in this country. We put politics over people. We put politics over actual relationships, over family, over sitting down and having real rational discussions where we can actually sit down and come to a conclusion that benefits both people. We really need to improve on this going forward, because this is the reason why people don't trust the media. This is the reason why you see a lot more YouTube channels blowing up and becoming more popular than the media, because the media has ran everyone off with their unethical and non-journalistic coverage of issues. But that's it for the video, you guys. Let me know what you thought about this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe when you're at the door. And until next time, you guys, I'm out of here. Peace.